Hi Tim, greetings from Mexico City. I just got your email today. I hope I'm still on time, but let me just elaborate a little bit of what went on in Juba. I managed to meet the Minister of Health of Sudan, as well as 5 or 6 out of 26 federal ministers of health, and I managed to visit the Ministry of Health of Juba itself and Juba State, and there I met 5 Director Generals, and overall people are very much interested in receiving a doctor who's coming to work for free. Now, my main interest would be to work in the medical faculty. However, as of now, the first year of the medical school has been transferred from Khartoum to Juba. The other years are still behind in Khartoum, and it's waiting for a transfer. It's a lack of funding and a lack of room to house people, professors, but also the medical students. There's an enormous need in South Sudan for medical care. I think that majority of the medical care is being delivered by international communities, by organizations like MSF, and still in states like Warab, 300 out of 1,000 children don't make it to the age of 5. There's an enormous amount of maternal mortality, and the country's pretty much bad off. I hear stories about isolated areas where people have to pay up to $150 for antibiotic treatment for simple respiratory tract infections, just because the medication is not available. And in the land in South Sudan, which is quite big, 12 million people living dispersed over a large area. Obviously, the 11 hospitals don't cover all of the country, and that's therefore the health posts and the health clinics take a large role of the medical care. They, however, are usually underfunded and understaffed, and definitely have a lack of medication and resources. So there's a lot of things to be done. Again, from my side, ideally I teach first. But if that's not possible, given the limitations of the medical faculty being in Khartoum, the second choice for me would be to teach at a training course for clinical officers, which are people that are in between nurses and doctors. And if that's not possible, I'd like to teach at the nursing school in the beginning and probably work in the hospital part-time to see how things really are. As you can imagine, the wards are cramped with people. This was not even the malaria season. It's there that the hospital completely gets jammed up with people. But even now, on Monday, which is the busiest day when I visited, there were hundreds of people sitting in a queue waiting for about 3-4 clinical officers and 1 or 2 doctors doing the work. Estimation of about 100 doctors for the entire 12 million people, and hundreds of thousands of people are moving in from Kenya and Uganda. So yeah, there's another horrible thing waiting to happen. That is obviously the war. The war has been picked up again in Abyei. The war has broken out, and 100,000 people had to flee their homes to go more south. It's like a litany almost, but it doesn't want to, I don't want to feed it like that. But let's say this, that the people that came back from Kenya and Uganda come from a high incidence area for HIV and TB, potentially multi-drug resistance TB, and they carry this disease with them. Overall, right now, it seems that HIV is not the biggest of problems, with a prevalence of 3 to 8%, but in areas closer to the Congolese or to the Ugandan or to the Kenyan border, generally the incidence and the prevalence of HIV is much higher. Yeah. Well, Tim, I hope by this I've given you a little bit of an overview. I can also say that according to resources, when you go to the Juba Teaching Hospital, you'll find maybe 100 books to be shared by 200 students. 100 books is really a lot, actually, because I think they have less. They have 7 computers for the entire faculty, and they have a VSAT. Equipment for the hospital is, well, the gynecological and obstetric department is pretty well endowed by the Turkish government, but otherwise beds are 50 years old, mattresses are missing, people have to share beds. It's bad, and this is the capital of South Sudan. Just imagine how it is in the rural areas and in the smaller cities. Well, that's it for now, Tim. I hope this will help you out a little bit. I'll send this video to YouTube, and I hope you can see it before you have the interview. If not, well, it's nice to talk to you anyway.